right, it is Friday, the big last day. I will say I just got here like 30 minutes ago. I'm in the patient quiet lounge, which is quiet except for the fan above my head. And mostly I can just say it's weird to be here and not be like super engaged doing all the things I've been doing every day I've been here so far. It's just kind of that, it's just, it would be odd, I think, for anyone to be so engaged for 2 weeks and then suddenly you're just like, oh, wait, it's all done. And then in less than 24 hours from now, I'll be at the airport waiting to fly out. Like, it's just this wild experience. So my functional MRI scan is up first. They'll walk through the stores 80 minutes to come get me. And then I will just do like 2 or 3 other meetings, including the big functional MRI scan exit report and findings. I've been told that I can record that entire interview, which is pretty cool. So we'll just see how it goes. Kind of weird, but my day officially ends at 1, so everything that's going to happen is just going to be in the next 3.5 brief hours. Very interesting, just having the whole pace change. And I'll stop recording this now, otherwise I'll just keep rambling and talking about how different it is in 10 different ways.
This is going to be right here,
Okay.
Charlie, because I'm going to be a fly on the wall. I'm just observing.
Wherever you want.
Why don't we have Charlie sit here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's funny, as a filmmaker, I'm
Here.
actually used to people never wanting to be on camera, so it's funny that you guys don't mind.
It happens
Yeah.
more often than you think.
I'm gonna jump.
And then here's Elise. Where do you want me? You want me right here? And then Elise can be there?
Yeah.
This. Can you hold that? Elise?
So, thank you.
You got us all? Your shirts. Gotta show your shirts.
Get some.
Okay.
And look, I don't even have to ask you to close the blinds.
Yeah?
No,
Is
I
that
don't.
okay?
I don't
Yes.
have to. No.
Feeling better? Feeling
Yeah.
good enough? You don't need it. That's
I
pretty
haven't
cool.
put on my sunglasses at all today. I didn't even think about them.
You know, I remember last week, I was sitting with you up there and you said this is the first time that I've noticed I didn't need my glasses.
Yep.
In the fluorescent lights, and that
Yeah.
was last
Wednesday.
week?
It was Wednesday.
Wow,
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
that's really cool. How are you feeling overall?
I feel really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
besides the MRI?
Yeah. Yeah, besides the MRI, my tinnitus is going pretty loud from the MRI. But, I literally feel like a different person.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we peeked at your scores, so I'm not surprised. I'm
Okay.
excited for you, okay?
Okay.
So this is your old one. Let's bring that up first.
Alrighty.
Do you kind of remember what's going on here?
Yes.
Okay.
My only disappointment is that as I've been talking about this in all the daily vlogs, I never referenced it by looking at it. I would just show the top. And I thought SICS stood for Severity Index Composite Scale.
Oh,
So I was close.
You were
I
close
don't want to do
enough.
wrong.
I mean,
nobody
Yeah.
is gonna ever pay attention
All
to
right,
that.
okay, so severity index cumulative score. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, and you know kind of the difference between the two, and you feel pretty good about it.
Between the two?
Between the two scores here. So you have
Oh, no.
your black bar here is
I
your
knew
brain.
that was mine.
Yes, they're both yours.
Oh.
Just two different things that we look at. The black bar is the brain region score. So that's where we look at the 52 different regions of the
I thought the
brain.
gray was just like a control number or something.
No, this is both you. So
Okay.
yeah, that one's looking at how the resources of the bloodstream are being used or
Okay.
metabolized.
Okay.
While this connectivity score is how your brain is talking to itself as a whole using electrical conduction. So
Awesome.
it's kind of two different things that go together, but
Oh.
yeah, they're both yours. So
Okay.
the green would be no impairment,
Right.
yellow would be mild, red is moderate, so your
Okay.
connectivity score is in the red or
Okay.
moderate zone. while white is in the severe category where your
Okay.
brain region score is.
Right.
But this score goes way up higher as
Okay.
well. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you ready to see your new ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drum roll. Drum roll. Okay. You deserve a drum
Oh my
roll.
gosh.
You got both into
Charlie.
the green.
Wow.
You got
Isn't that
both
incredible?
into no impairment,
That is wild.
which is like no injury,
You
which
know,
is crazy.
and to be
And that's
honest,
Wow.
Charlie, I would have expected this score to get down to the green,
Yeah.
but usually this is like the tortoise and the hare. This guy usually goes a lot slower. I would have
Mhm.
expected this to be somewhere in the yellow, to be
Mhm.
honest, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would have typically expected, but to
Right.
see both of them in the green is quite remarkable. Your brain is so plastic. We really encourage that change, and your brain responded.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's all
Wow.
the hard work that you did.
Well, the hard work you guys did.
Well,
The
No, it's
team.
you.
you did it. We just gave you the space to do it, but this is through your own
Wow.
hard
That's
work.
awesome. It doesn't surprise me. I'm gonna think of this line as my sunglasses scale.
Mhm.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wanna just-
Wow.
Let's take it.
So we can break it down into each little category here. And you remember what we want to see here?
Yeah, you want it in the white.
Yep, in the white, and
So much
when they're
nicer.
closer together, that's
Yeah.
something else we like to see because then they're sharing resources a little more
Okay.
adequately as well.
Awesome.
But yeah, here we have executive function, which before you were kind of split, right? You
Yeah.
had almost half that were hyperactive
oh, I
using
see.
too many
Okay,
resources.
Okay. Yep.
and then half hypoactive, a little sleepy needing to be activated.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what we see here is most were brought into within
Yeah.
normal, which is
Yeah.
crazy. That's so good. These
Wow.
ones were able to kind of take the break that they needed
Mhm.
while these ones were activated.
Mhm.
So some of these that are even more hyperactive,
Right.
that's not necessarily a bad thing on
Right.
this second scan because
Yeah.
we really just want to see change happening. We want to see these increase because you're in that increased activation state
Mhm.
right now because you've been in therapy for hours a day, right?
Right. Right.
So this is really beautiful section in executive function because you have almost every single one either hyperactivated
Mhm.
or within normal limits.
Excellent. And then,
Nice.
Great.
what do you notice here?
Wow. Wow. That is a big, big difference.
Huge.
Jeez.
That's your focus and attention.
And these are beautifully aligned with each other as well.
That's crazy. Like, look at these guys.
Yeah, those are way off. And those big gaps sometimes can lead to symptoms just because it's so much like dysregulation happening. So
Wow.
how they were able to get zipped up like that and meet closer to the middle is really
That's
nice.
really cool.
You know, and Charlie, one thing you have to know is that there's no faking this test. You can't, no matter how hard you try, you cannot tell your right posterior cingulate gyrus to deactivate. You know, this isn't something that, you know, we're literally measuring metabolism and how your brain is utilizing oxygen and glucose. So this is a brain that has so much more energy
Mm-hmm.
because you're not burning through your resources.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so you should be noticing, wow, I have more space, things, I can
Yeah.
process things faster, I feel lighter, I don't feel so heavy all the time, I can handle more stimulation.
Mhm.
That's what a healthy brain can do when it's not, you know, guzzling through its resources.
That's an interesting. That's a good way to explain it. That makes sense.
Okay, next.
So you have language and supporting agents.
Oh, wow, I
And
love it.
your brain kind of has this pattern of you have these broken sections of
Mhm.
both hypoactive and hyperactive going on. But again, you just had really great, like look at these two especially, those
They woke
got
up.
so activated and look so
Nice.
much better. This one woke up as well while those ones were able to kind of calm down and take
like
their
it.
much needed break, right?
Agent supporting agents.
Yeah, so this is happening mostly in your temporal lobes on the side of your brain there.
Did these indicate anything? Or are these just showing you what regions of the brain
Yeah,
it is?
visually, so you can kind of tie each column
Oh,
by
okay.
the color
Oh, I see.
here, so they kind of match to these columns,
Oh.
and then they match up here
I
to
gotcha.
what they're in charge of.
Okay.
So
It's
the
just-
more white, the better, right? Because even These colors in here, if it's white, that means it's in the first standard deviations. So not just the outer ring, but the inner color matters.
Okay, got it.
Or
Got it.
maybe you're a little bit more visual, I can guess from what you said when we were first talking about your MRI. So you can kind of just visually look at each of these
Yeah,
and see like, wow, this lightened up so much, right?
And
okay.
even look down here to here. Can you see how much more white there is?
Oh, okay.
Much more
I didn't
white
understand how to
and
use
lighter
this before.
shades.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So visual processing, this is like the back of your skull. This is the
Mhm,
front, back,
mhm.
left side, right side. So that happens mostly in your occipital lobe in the very back.
Nice.
So
Nice.
visual processing is actually one that takes a little bit longer to heal. It's
Mhm.
a little bit more stubborn.
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't see great healing happening until like 6 to 9 months out.
Yeah.
But even with that,
Mhm.
with this one being more stubborn, you still had like such great improvement
Mm-hmm.
and brought so many into within normal. So that's
Awesome.
pretty spectacular.
And the visual processing, that's the light sensitivity,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
That as well as some
Because like I
cortical-
still do have it sometimes, but like I was almost always operating on a 2, I would say, just like a constant 2 would be my baseline. And then now I feel like it's like either non-existent or like maybe like a 0.5 or really like a 0.25. I hate to split hairs, but like that's where I kind of be like right now. I'm like looking out there, and with this light, it's like a 0.25.
Okay.
Like I can just feel a slight little discomfort in the top, but
And
so
that
that's
was
visual. Yeah.
like such a short amount of time, right?
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
we have months and
Yeah.
years to even
Yeah.
improve that
Yep.
even more.
Yep.
But that's where some of our outcome numbers come from, Charlie. So I remember talking about, well, what does the average person improve at? What rate? What can I expect? And we have numbers that say about 90% of our patients report about a 65% symptom improvement in their time here.
Okay.
If you take the numbers you just gave, that's like a 75% improvement because you went from about a 2 to a 0.25.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, when you fill out that post-concussion symptom checklist every day with your symptoms, that's what we're tracking. We're just tracking your subjective symptoms.
Okay.
And then for the objective side, we take the score you started with and the score you end with, and we calculate a percentage of decrease.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we have your subjective numbers of decrease, and then we
Right.
have the objective numbers of
Right.
decrease. And that's how we come up with our outcome scores.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
So here again, I mean, right off the bat.
Beautiful, look at
right?
that.
This is such a
Yeah.
good, this is a really important area too to have this kind of great improvement on, because this is the very center of your brain where it's in charge of the sensory like input, sensory output, as
Right.
well as things like your blood pressure, breathing, balance, all of those type of things, your heart rate. So when that is off, that can flip you into the fight or flight mode, right? When you're taking in too much like bright lights, loud noises and everything, you're flipping into fight or flight mode
Okay.
when you don't need to be. Sometimes when you're having dysregulation here. So when this
Right.
improves, that's not happening anymore,
So-
then you can
Yeah.
be functioning
Yeah.
day to day. a
Means I
little
don't
bit
wake
better.
up. That means the pain in my eyes doesn't wake me up every morning.
Yeah, this is also your sleep-wake cycles in this area, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You mean the guys right there specifically, or just
Yes, the
subcortical?
thalamus
Okay.
is a big,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
thalamus, the hypothalamus, but yeah, overall, this whole network is what's controlling a lot of those things you
Okay.
don't think about. But so look at how much more balanced this is.
So
versus what it
maybe
was before.
my next complete blood panel won't look like I'm in liver failure.
You know what?
that'd be great.
Give your brain a little while before you do that CBC,
Yeah.
just so it can start. and
CBC, that's it.
Yeah, so let's just, yes, but
Yeah.
let your brain settle out a bit before you go do that.
Okay.
And then
Now this one's wacky, right?
Yeah, but
That's
look at
pretty
that.
wacky.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, I hadn't looked over here
Yeah,
yet.
look at
that's
that.
our new one. Yeah, so again, you kind of had that pattern of up and down and up and down
Wow.
and these big gaps.
That's
And
crazy.
you were able to close those gaps and get it primed to.
Oh my gosh, and then look at this. You have
So when
nothing
these are
within-
more
Yeah.
together,
Yes.
grouped like that, does that indicate more cooperation then?
Exactly.
Yeah, the different
Harmony.
regions are, yep.
Connectivity.
Okay.
And then look, you have nothing within normal limits here.
Mm-hmm.
And
So many.
Wow. That's bonkers. Wow. I mean, yeah, my memory, I almost feel like my memory got better even than I was before the concussion, to be honest.
So good.
Wow.
I used to be so terrible at logic puzzles and
Yeah.
deduction games.
We probably
Like, my
worked
kids
you-
would just laugh at me. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that's awesome.
I like it.
Beautiful. Okay.
That encompasses your brain region score. So that
Okay.
was all the black. The black
Okay,
bar.
okay.
And then here we have your connectivity score. So
Oh my
this would be your
gosh.
gray
Oh,
bar.
that green.
Yes, you knew right away what we're looking for. I like
Wow.
it. Yeah, this is this nice overall green. I mean,
Yeah.
all three of these
They're
really
beautiful.
are
Wow.
really improved. They're a
It's like
lot more
perfect.
organized, a
Yeah.
lot less like
Yeah,
chaotic,
these really
like
do
focal
look
points.
so much
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
Wow.
So that really shows us, this is almost like a neuroplasticity score. It shows us how your brain was able to change
This
and
to
make
this.
new connections.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
but even this to
Right?
this, look at all the
Yellow and
the
red.
yellows and reds. And
Yeah.
did you notice that the green isn't as deep? It doesn't have the depth that it has
Right,
here
right.
as well. And
That's
then this one
crazy.
too. I mean,
That's a
it's
lot different.
Charlie. I almost
Yeah.
want to use your scan as like a
That's
poster
so good.
scan for
As a what?
a poster child for like.
You
I'm
did even
serious.
better than what our shirts are.
Yeah.
You were like above here and went all the way down.
You know, there is an article about me already in the, what, is it called the New England Journal of Medicine? Is that what it's
Really?
called?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they need to do an update.
Oh, not on my brain.
Oh.
It's a crazy allergy I developed.
Really?
But yeah, that's really cool. You have my permission to do so.
I will de-identify it, of course, Charlie, but I mean, I love this scan. Like, this
Yeah.
is a beautiful scan, especially with
Yeah.
your connectivity scores.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Really,
do you have any
really
medical
excited and
questions for
proud.
us? Because I want to make sure that we cover all of your questions. And then, did anyone go over your structural scan as well?
You mean from just today?
No, we did these.
Oh, no, the
earlier.
structural,
last
right, the
Friday.
Tuesday scan
Yeah,
from last
you-
week. No.
No one went over those?
Nope.
Oh, then I'll go over them
I
with you real quick.
assume I'm gonna live.
You're gonna thrive, not just survive. Okay, so let's look at this is your brain MRI,
Okay.
okay?
Because
So-
I did just remember, yes, there is one question, but you're probably about to answer it.
Okay, well, it's not,
Was just in the cervical spine. Did you see anything out of alignment that you think I should work on, or does it show that, or is
yes.
everything fine?
Okay, let's go to your
Okay.
neck then. So, I don't necessarily see things out of alignment, so to speak.
Right.
However, you have these discs, so these little cushions that sit in between your bones, your vertebrae.
Right.
Okay? And C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. So right here between C5 and C6,
Mhm.
it looks like you just have some degeneration of that disc. That disc is kind of just getting a little smaller.
Yep.
You
Is
don't
that
have
the
such
one that usually
cushion.
results in subluxing?
Yeah.
That's my mom. My mom, it's a genetic thing in our
And
family.
it might be, and that's where it's
Yeah.
kind of most susceptible to whiplash.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm lucky
just-
I didn't have whiplash. Yeah.
And then you have a little bit in C3, C4, so a little bit
Okay.
above that.
Okay.
You also have some notable disease, we call it degenerative disc disease
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so,
Okay.
but
Just normal
honestly, for
stuff. Okay.
our age,
Yeah.
it's kind of, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that, I have two herniated discs, meaning that
Yeah.
it's broken through that lining
Yeah.
and sheath and is putting pressure on my
And I know you say for our age it's not unusual, but I mean, for being a 35-year-old man with that condition, seems a little bit early.
Oh, yeah, 35,
Yeah,
yes.
because I am only 30.
Oh, are you? Okay, then
Yes.
that then means I must be,
Yeah.
I'm 29 then.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes, I like your
Great.
math. Let's Charlie math all of this.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, and then for your actual brain, when we say unremarkable, that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want something that's markable because.
Right, we don't want positive findings, we want negative findings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they do have, what he did find, Dr. Epps did find a really small white matter, it's called a non-specific finding.
Mhm.
It could be it could be because of prior traumas or prior hit to the head. It could be microvascular, I mean, it could be hypertension, it could be a
Right,
number of different things.
Okay.
But there's only one, so there's no question of there being kind of more chronic disease or
Okay.
anything like that.
does that normally point to the beginning of dementia?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
That's my greatest fear
Not
in
at all,
life,
no.
so.
No,
okay.
there's nothing there to signify that
Okay.
in the least. Let that go, please.
Okay,
This is likely that, maybe you hit your head pretty hard and there's maybe a tiny little bleed that might have
Okay.
happened there, but this could have happened decades ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
we
it.
don't even know when this happened.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
any other questions
Great.
there?
Hey there. So it is the evening of Friday. I finished up that findings and report of findings thingy there. I did the whole rest of the day. No naps today, though I was tempted. But honestly, I just felt really great for the rest of the day. Definitely a very high point. I took myself out for ice cream. Here's a picture of the ice cream cone to celebrate. And I head home tomorrow. So I'm gonna upload this very last video from Provo, Utah. And I will be doing other updates because I want to talk about, all the protocol that they sent me home with. I had all these, I had like 2 other meetings where they went into great detail about the continuing work I am to do once I get back home. So I will do a video about all that. And then I'll do some other catch-up videos. But also I'm hoping to do some other things, like maybe interview some other folks that have been to CognitiveFX, and also just updates on how I'm doing, etc. But to close out this chapter of my life, these 2 remarkable weeks here, I'm going to finish this video tonight and get it up on YouTube before I leave the hotel tomorrow morning. It's been quite a ride. Okay, I'll see you next time.